Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back. And what are we getting into? We are getting into another episode of Married at First Sight Australia series 11, and then we're now on episode 3. So we're now getting to another set of couples who are going to be matched and get married to. And we're also going to talk about the first thing that has ever happened on Maths History, But before we get into it, as I always say, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so when you know I'm on and doing videos. And let's talk about this episode, shall we? Well, as I was just getting into, first thing that has ever happened on Maths History, someone's done an out of runner. Someone's ran, like literally done a runner. The night, I think it was the night after the books, they've literally ran and decided that they don't want to go through with the rest of the experiment. What I'm pissed off about is the fact, and it was Simon basically, because Michael was matched with Simon and they were due to get married this episode, but sod's law, he's been told that his match, Simon the dickhead, has ran. And this is why I said in my previous episodes why I believe that Simon hadn't very long literally come out of the closet in regards to his sexuality. And he basically has taken someone's space that could have properly been matched to Michael and went through with the situation, yeah, to only then decide that he's going to do a runner. Why do the application? Why get to the books night, sit there, do whatever, come out like nationally to these men to say that, yeah, you're gay, knowing full well that your partner's going to be on the other side waiting. Because by that point, you know you're matched to someone, you know you're due to get married to that person, yeah? And then do a fucking runner. I felt so sad for Michael. So the hope is that they would find someone else for Michael and he'll be able to continue on his journey and his experience. But Simon is a fucker for doing that, like an absolute fucker for doing what he did to Michael. Okay. We have the couples getting acquainted on their honeymoon. So Tori and Jake are getting acquainted. Tim and Lucinda are getting acquainted. Cassandra and Tristan are getting acquainted. And I think Sarah and Tim are also continuing to get acquainted. Is it Tim? Is his name? Is it Sarah and Tim? Or am I thinking somebody else? Well, if I get the name wrong, I'll soon clear it up with myself. I'll soon clear it up anyway. So the next person up, we have Natalie and Collins, who are being matched together. Now, Natalie is kind of on her own, not so hyper. Let's just put it that way. On her own, Natalie is not so hyper. She's okay to take in that sense. I don't know if it was nerves with Collins or anything else when they started to get to know that they've got a lot of things in common, that her hyperness took like a different kind of realm. Like, we know Collins is probably a little bit on the hyper side and a little bit on the nerd side and this, that and the other, the same way as Natalie. But his light was actually dimmed, and you could see that his light was actually dimmed when he started to get to know Natalie a little bit more, especially when it came to the wedding breakfast. And Natalie was just literally... Collins didn't know where to put himself. Collins really did not know where to put himself. Bearing in mind, Collins has never dated anyone in his life. Don't ask me why he then decided to apply for this show, because, dude, you've never dated no one in your life. You don't know what the dating scene is like, but yet you're going to jump in full force and get married to someone you don't even know. The experts, do I think they've got it right with these two? Not necessarily so, because even though they have so many similarities, those similarities, I think, is what is going to push them apart. Those similarities is what is going to cause Collins some issues, because he does not know literally how to take Natalie in this moment in time, and it's starting to show. Two, you get to the point where they're getting ready to go to the honeymoon, but I will get there because I am glossing over a lot of other bits and pieces that went in, and I need to come back to that as well. So the next couples up after Natalie and Collins, we have Jaden, who is a kickboxer by profession, and then we also have Eden as well. Now, Jaden professes that, you know, as a kickboxer, he often gets misconstrued in terms of being this tough guy when he's not. He's actually got a soft center, and he's like a cuddly teddy bear underneath, and he basically wants to find love, and this is the reason why he's applied to this show. But what we did find out throughout this episode is that his brother had also been on a series of Married at First Sight Australia, but it didn't work out well for his brother. Actually, his brother was a bit of an arsehole at the end, coming towards the end with his wife. He does have a lot of regrets, his brother does. But hey ho, this is now Jaden's time. But what Jaden has to be careful of is he isn't tarred with the same brush that his brother is tarred with, because at the end of the day, him and his brother are quite close, but they are so far apart in regards to how they see relationships and how they see like being with people that they want. Whereas Jaden fully wants to trust the process, whereas his brother didn't necessarily trust the process at all, which fucked him over royally, and now he has those regrets. So then we have Eden, who basically talks about her situation in regards to she had a long-term relationship. It was gonna go the full hog, she believed it would have, but then what had happened is her ex-partner literally basically cheated on her with one of her, like not even one of her, with her best friend. And it's the best friend, you know, that you would normally go to, and if you've got complaints about like your relationship and your boyfriend, and they're the ones sitting there having that listening ear, giving you that advice, and in the next breath her friend is fucking her man behind her back. That's full on bullshit, man. That is full on bullshit. And so that has caused Eden to be quite wary with new people that she then meets and allows into her life. So this is going to be definitely a barrier that Jaden is going to have to work with and try and overcome, in regards for Eden to trust him enough to say, yeah, he's here for me. In that sense, he ain't going nowhere. So that's going to be already an uphill battle for them two, but we'll see how they get on throughout this process. So with both weddings, they do go off without a hitch. Well, except for fucking Natalie, because she's like myself, clumsy as all get out. So she's taking that walk. I don't know why they allowed her to walk in heels in a dirt patch on uneven ground, because it was an accident waiting to happen, and she ended up fucking up her ankle, and they literally had to carry her through the space where she had to walk just for her to get to the end of the aisle, which was fucked up in and of itself. I mean, they could have given the girl some flats first and then helped her to change her shoes afterwards so she could walk down the aisle in the shoes that she wanted. But no, they carried on watching her, seeing this girl tripping, because she was tripping first and foremost, like over her dress and over her feet, and no one offered her any flats at first and said, you know what, put these on until you get to the end of the aisle, then change them over. Because I'm like, you're watching this girl flapping and flapping around, giving her no help until she literally busses her fucking ankle and can't move no further. So they literally had to pick her up and carry her to the top of the aisle so then she could make her way down by herself. But you could tell that she did really hurt herself. I'm going to have to say that actually, even though Natalie's energy is up there, I actually like Natalie. And at the beginning, I did like Collins, but I will get to why that's kind of a little bit changed for me. When it comes to Jaden and Eden, I actually do like both of them. But as I said, the weddings went off with a hitch. With Jaden and Eden, Jaden very much likes Eden, but Jaden isn't aware as to whether Eden likes him or not, because he wasn't too sure in terms of getting that impression from her, because when she asked at the altar, well, what do you do, when he said he's a kickboxer, she was like, oh, and she didn't really take it well, but then she didn't really take it any other way, to be honest with her. She's just like, oh, it was just a blasé oh sort of thing. But Jaden was kind of reading into that, thinking that she'd already gained an impression of him, which he says is not true. So throughout the whole wedding breakfast and everything like that, he was getting in his own head, until his brother literally told him to stop getting in his own head, stop overthinking it. And I'm just like, go ask the girl, do you know what I mean? Go ask the girl what she thinks of you. And in the end, when it was coming to the end of their wedding day, he asked her exactly. He told her and said that, like, he was quite worried that she'd already made a view with him straight away, because he wasn't too sure whether, like, she liked him. And she reassured him and settled his anxiety in that area to say that, yeah, I really do like you, I am attracted to you. But as she said, she's a slow burner because of the experiences that she has had. She needs that time in order to get to know him. It was cute when they did do their first dance though, because Eden said she don't dance, plus the fact she's in a dress that she could hardly move in, and she had a long train as well. He said that he will pick up the train and then they'll do it that way. And the way it was quite funny. And then you see his brother sitting in the background, like literally again, going through his whole experience of how he felt with meeting the girl that he married and the regrets that he had. And I was like, hold on, is this Jaden's wedding or is it the brother's show at the end of the day? Like, he's done his experience, yeah. He can regret it all he wants. He did his experience how he wanted to do the experience. This is about Jaden now. I'll give him props that he did give Jaden good advice when he got into his head, but that's about as far as it goes. This is all about Jaden and Eden now. So then we go back to Natalie and Collins, and the main thing that I notice about Collins is he deflects quite a lot. He doesn't actually say what it is that he's feeling, and I think he's going to need to learn how to open his mouth and say this stuff, because you can quite clearly see that Natalie is literally setting him off. Like, literally you can see on his face that he's like, I think I'm in deep water here. I don't know what the hell to do. I don't know what to do with this woman, because she is literally switched on, and he's not normally used to anybody who's majoritarily switched on more than he is. He said that they're both hyper, but she's more hype. She was more hyper than Collins. And I don't know with Natalie if it was more nerves that was getting to her, and her wanting to literally create this impression that, you know what, I am a good person, please see me type of thing. But yeah, she was on some hyper type of level, like serious hyper type of level. The girl would not stop talking. The girl would not stop. Oh God. It was, and neither any of her friends reined her in either. And I don't think she was reading, even though she doesn't know Collins that well, I don't think she was kind of reading the cues on his face, in the fact that this man has literally said 2 words to you about now, and he's been quite quiet, and he's been looking quite hella nervous and sheepish at the same time, because he doesn't know what to say to you. He doesn't know how to get you to calm down enough for him to be able to show you who he is. When it gets to the honeymoons, they're happy to go, but as they're shown before they go on the honeymoons, we know that Natalie and Collins separately. Natalie was very upset. She was upset by that, because at the end of the day, she just got married. She wanted to be able to spend that time with her husband, whether it be talking through the night, cuddles, kisses, anything like that. But Collins literally separated himself from her. And then just before they go, he turns around and sits down and has a conversation with her and talks about how he is a slow burner and he just wants to see how things temper out and how things go. So I think in a roundabout way, he was kind of telling her that he still doesn't want to sleep in the same bed with her, or he was kind of telling her that he doesn't want to get physically intimate with her, like say with hugs or with kisses or show any type of physical touch with her, which did upset Natalie, and I did feel bad for her at that time, because it's kind of like Natalie's found someone who she can be in tune with. She's thinking that they're in tune together and that they're gonna, that before he came and had that chat with her, that they were getting on really well, and then he's literally just pulled the rug out from under her. So she got quite upset by that, because he's not accepting her for who she is, but she's willing to accept Collins for who he is. So she's agreed to what he said, and then kind of hoping that, you know, things will change at that point. But I don't know. I don't know, because Collins is good at deflecting. He's very, very good at deflecting. He's good at saying other things, like throughout the show, you see producers asking him direct questions, but he doesn't answer those direct questions. He will say something else completely different, and then you still have to try and drag him back to answer the direct question, and even then he still won't answer it. So he literally needs to mind how he goes with Natalie in that sense, because Natalie is, even though she's hyper, she's still a very sensitive soul and wants someone to accept her for who she is. But that's where the episode ended. I'll be back very soon with the next episode. As I always say, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button so you know I'm on and doing videos. And I'll be back on your screens very, very soon. Peace out.